Hey everyone, Christina here, Ginger Mama. I just got off a client call with someone. We were reviewing their overall birth chart. I offer a very condensed kind of overview of your basic birth chart if you'd like, link in bio. But here's the deal. I want to talk about Lilith energy. If you don't know where Lilith sits in your chart, go look it up. Don't be impatient, ignore this message, okay? I know right now we've had Lilith since June of 2024 in the sign of Libra, which is all about trying to keep the peace, right? Like making sure we're not speaking out of turn, learning the other perspective, balance, justice, election cycles. But Lilith kind of rules this dark, feminine, dark moon energy within all of us, right? And it's a very interesting placement to look at, right? So it's been in the sign of Libra since June of 2024, as I said. It will transition shortly on March 27th into the sign of Scorpio. It will remain there until December 20th of this year. So like the rest of the year, we are sticking with Lilith in Scorpio, whether we like it or not. Now, what are some of the negative attributes and the positive attributes? And by the way, this does not it matters if you hold a Lilith in Scorpio, this will be extra highlighted for you. But even if you don't, this will just be highlighted collectively, okay? So I don't want to say negative attributes, but at the same time, yes, the darker elements of this would be things like sexual promiscuity, deceit, addiction cycles. Like look for people to get more drug offenses, drug charges. You're going to see people charged more with like things like OWIs or possession, or hiring, prostitutes, things like that, right? But if we want to look at this, a higher perspective of this, where it can become very good, is someone taking ownership of themselves and saying, what do I want in the bedroom with a partner that I am committed to and stable with, right? How am I authentically showing up in the world? How do I integrate my dark into light? How am I balancing out addictions, or transforming those all together? So it's a really interesting energy. Some of this can be seen as taboo, things we don't normally talk about. You might find that just discussed openly. Your family, your friends, a lover, someone's like, you know what? Actually, this is what I was thinking. That's what's coming up more. Six of Swords, Ten of Pentacles. This is healing for the collective. With that Ten of Pentacles and the Six of Swords, I also feel like if you're someone that's able to tap into that taboo energy and utilize it in authenticity, you will be so rewarded financially. But if you're still holding on to that kind of Libra energy of like, keep the peace, I want to make both sides happy. No, you're going to see people, I almost want to use the word adorned, but whatever this is, just like more authentic. Like, I'm not afraid to be me. I'm not afraid to speak up. I'm not afraid to go there. And so make the choice right now. I love this because we're in March. It's March 3rd. So we only have 22 days left until this transit begins. And yeah, Knight of Swords, you speaking truth and not being afraid to own that shadow aspect of yourself. Scorpio is about death and rebirth. It goes into the ethers, it pulls up the darkness and it alchemizes it. And it says, hey, I see you, taboo things. I see you, those desires, that energy, but I challenge you to pull it out and use it in a way that's in alignment and creative instead of judging it, right? Libra kind of wants to judge, which is where it's been, this like darkness of like petty conversation, judgment, gossip, right? Even stalking, things like that were very highlighted for the last several months. Now it becomes this energy of who am I? Who am I? What pieces of my shadow am I afraid to show, right? So Temperance, the Hermit, the Wheel of Fortune, what parts of myself am I afraid to show? Am I afraid to be honest? Am I afraid to go there? Am I afraid to show that raw piece of myself, right? And so this is where we're headed right now, and authenticity will be rewarded, okay? Look, if you were living in a past bullshit version of just like, I'm going to keep the peace, it's okay, I'm not going to show my emotions, that would affect my money, I'm not going to talk about taboo subjects, I'm not going to talk about spirituality, you are going to lose some money. If you're just sitting there every day like everything has to be perfect, everything must be perfect, all my notes, all my things, you will struggle. If you can just be totally raw, real, and authentic, whether that is tears, whether that's about sexual energy, whether that's your spiritual beliefs, whether this is about trauma, we're going to see that highlighted. People really bringing up past wounds around this, right? And you can be raw and real, that Scorpio energy of like, oh, I'm coming up, I'm showing the truth of my emotions, right? This is going to bless you so much in work, in love, with the universe, right? And balancing that, but also be very careful of falling into darkness that you know you've been tested on before. So again, I want to reiterate, you will see some people who have lied and hidden. Like these are people that like at work, it's like everything's perfect. I'm an excellent employee. Suddenly you're finding out they have a DUI charge, or they did something really dark to a partner, or abused someone, or that family member you thought was so pristine and you're finding out there was some serious darkness there, right? Do not fall victim to that or into that, right? We're alchemizing this in a positive way, but be mindful of that pull to kind of go into some things that logically you know are not okay, right? You can express that authentically, you can share that, but be very careful here. The Scorpio energy is a real blur of dark and light. That will be with us from March 27th to December 20th. But it's also an honoring of that polarity and how without knowing the darkness, we do not know the light, right? And so Libra maybe wanted to balance that out or show where and highlight where people aren't there. That's been going on since last June. This is going to be more of an integration of that process. And if you can allow yourself to be honest and be like, yeah, I made mistakes, or I did this, or yeah, one time I cheated, or one time I did this to somebody, but I want to change, you will be rewarded if you're being authentic. I cannot stress this enough. So it's about being authentic, honoring the desires, but not acting on impulse as a way to override or harm someone else's free will or experience on this planet. Okay, so that is the lesson we are about to learn for the rest of the year with Lilith in Scorpio. And again, if you do not know where your Lilith sits, please look that up. Again, I have an offering if you are curious. But I love you guys. This is like a deep dive into the psyche. You're going to see a lot of people either running and hiding from things like spirituality and therapy, or they're going to be like, no, I'm going into it. I want to dive deep into those wounds and come up anew. Okay. So really look to the positive aspects of this, that going through that emotional turmoil or those sexual, like awkward feelings, whatever this is for you, that authenticity, that feeling of like, do I wear what I wear because I like it? Or do I wear what I wear because others think I should do that, right? How do I cut my hair? How do I paint my nails? What do I weigh? Like there's a lot of energy here of like, am I doing this for me because it feels good? Or am I trying to put on a show for somebody else, right? It's kind of like saying, I don't give a shit what you think, this is who I am. But simultaneously, not spiraling and losing yourself in addictive cycles or really negative sexual experiences, or frankly, like violence, anger, things like that, okay? Because you could really regret that if you do that. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense how I broke that down. But link in bio if you want a personal reading or to book an astrology overview. I love you, collective. Have a great day. Bye.